Goes at him after the Edey block. It's a block and a rebound for Zach Edey on the first possession, averaging more than 2 blocks, more than 13 rebounds per game. Top 4 in the nation at points and rebounds. And here's the lineup around him. Some very good guards. Braden Smith and Fletcher Loyer, the freshman. Ethan Morton, terrific defender. And Caleb First, who's had a nice year shooting and rebounding at 6'10". This is Edey with his first touch. Drops it off to Smith, who did not score against Minnesota.
When she sees the is-zone.
Here's Edey inside. His first shot is a little short. And the rebound for Garcia. They will howl here in the barn every time Edey misses one. He's shooting at 61.4%.
What a sign of respect.
Started the Minnesota game in December 1 for 6. Of course, he finished with 31.
Yeah.
Freshman Ola Joseph off to the grad transfer Cooper at a Morehead State. Ola Joseph got space around him.
Make him work at least. Put him into the action. Make him cover every action in the half court.
Edey will get a touch just about every possession, and why not when you can. Purdue 17-1, 5-0 on the road. The third longest road win streak under Matt Painter. Just won his 200th league game in the Big Ten. Smith with a left hand and a couple of baskets.
Anticipating ball movement, anticipating screens, getting up, so he's not chasing the play as much. He's also not running rim to rim. He's trailing the play quite often, and you're going to see them do some things where they bring their 4 hard to the rim, and then they clear out, where Zach Edey's able to walk into better position.
Purdue ball off the battle miss. Edey sets the screen for Smith. Puts it up for Edey, and that ball finds standing.
Well, also, if you can get to the basket, if you can turn the corner, bring a secondary defender with you, just get it up on the rim, because Zach Edey's rolling, and he's often going to get that offensive rebound.
Smith and Edey with 4 apiece to start all 8 points in the paint for Purdue. A freshman Payne for Minnesota. Finds a cutting Samuels. Over Edey at 3. Will go for Torres Samuels.
Whether he should or should not shoot that shot. That was good offensive action. You got Zach Edey involved in multiple actions. He ends up getting switched on a guard. You got to make that shot, but you might want to get a stop. Braden Smith's been terrific.
Do you have any prep work on your board? Oh, battle! Smothered by Edey! Wow. If his back didn't hurt enough coming into this game, it all hurts now. And a slash and drive for Mason Gillis. Freshman on the floor for the first time right now. As Samuels misses a 3. Cleaned up by Smith, who rebounds at nearly 5 per game.
Braden Smith got lost defensively on that play, but he read that his shot's going up, and he got himself in rebounding position.
Could also get a touch for Edey. Edey again. It's game over.
So you got no Zach Edey in the game. What are you doing to feel a little bit better about this time that you've got without Edey on the floor? You've got to get ball movement offensively.
There's 2 for 13 for the field to start. Payne. Oh! That's what you do. Minute 43-second Minnesota scoring drop.
Well, if Kaufman-Renn kept his balance, he may have gotten a call.
Loyer into traffic. Throws it off the rim and in. Clippers, grandson of former Purdue player Al McFarland. And there he is with a steal. Loyer took it away. 6'4" freshman from Fort Wayne. Sets up Newman. Drives right into Payne. And here's Edey in there, and he missed it, so there was good luck.
Well, I think it's good if you can force him to catch it there. He's about 8-9 feet from the basket, and he turns and goes for the shot. Try to contest front, backside, and now it turns into good offense. 5'6", plays like he's 6'11".
About this, Payne trying to take Edey. He had no angle whatsoever to do so.
You find an angle against that.
I wouldn't try.
I will say, look, every Big Ten fan out there is going to be so annoyed with this, unless you're a Boiler fan, as Smith gets it to go.
The teeth of Edey. Back to the freshman Henley, trying to wrap it through 3 Purdue jerseys, and Loyer comes up with another steal. Smith. Edey again on the deck, in the air, and scores.
More than 9 points on the board.
Cooper. A lot of tough jumpers for Minnesota in the games against Purdue this season, and nobody guarded Mason Gillis. Freshman in Westfield High School, Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana. Throws it up for Edey.
Braden Smith, guys that understand how to play this game at a very young level, or a very young age, and they know how to use it.
App.
I love it when Nick Cronin brought a little blue collar to that program, and Ben Hallen did it too, so don't let me take that away from him. Did that and went to 3 straight Final Fours after his 3rd year, but Nick's got something going there that is fun to watch. They're tough. Jalen Clark has to be one of the best defenders, all-around players in the country.
Double team comes to Edey, dropped it off to First, ready to shoot. First gets it on the rim.
A lot of what Minnesota's done defensively has limited rhythm in this game, and that is important. That's how you keep the shooting numbers down, but Zach Edey, Braden Smith, they just find ways to impact it.
Morton, under a minute to play in this first half, which has been one-sided and continues to be so.
Hammered on that play. It doesn't look like it because he's huge. But, man, the physicality out there is tough. Go ahead.
Samuel snaps a 17 scoring drought for Minnesota. Coming up with a halftime report, Kevin Connors.
Welcome to College Sports USA, your channel providing college sports highlights and news all year round. Just a reminder to please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.
Battles try to do a lot on his own. He gets to the rim there. Garcia's offensive rebound is put back. And
fans, if I say Foster one more time, I owe you 100 push-ups. Zach Edey. I think you just commit to it. You just get handsy. You be physical as much as possible.
First terrific offensive rebounder. Pulls it down and goes up strong. First foul against Ola Joseph, the freshman. Minnesota without Braden Carrington tonight. 8 scholarship players. Lawyer off the cut. Morton fed it. First foul against Ola Joseph, the freshman. Minnesota without Braden Carrington tonight. 8 scholarship players. Lawyer off the cut. Morton
doesn't make the plays he made without having a great feel for the game. And I think there's a lot of great coaches that helped him in his career that would say the same thing. Fletcher Lawyer understands how to play. Great feel for the game at such a young age.
And the ESPN app.
How many teams do they need to add to the playoffs for the Lakers?
But they're only 1.5 out of Minnesota's 10th spots. You have 7-4, of course. Garcia's shot not close and grabbed by Morton.
Well, I would say Purdue is a good fundamental team. They're very well coached.
Smith gets to the left hand and finishes.
What you do is why he doesn't foul. I know a lot of people are mad that he's not getting called for all these fouls, but when I watch him, I say he's not really fouling. Everybody else is fouling him more than he's fouling anybody else.
He's now blocked 14 more shots than he has committed fouls. Garcia over Gillis.
Where Zach Edey is, because if Edey comes over as a secondary defender, that's a block.
Edey is a screener. Smith buries it 3.
Slow things down and bog it down and make it boring.
You got to feel good about a 17 being on the board right there if you don't want basketball that's bogged down. Inside, there's Ola Joseph. Nice recovery by him.
Play faster. People think score quicker, take quicker shots. Just move the ball quicker. Get into aggressive action quicker.
Smith.
Man, that's
how
tough.
did that go in? That looked like it was Will.
Play faster. People think score quicker, take quicker shots. Just move the ball quicker. Get into aggressive action quicker.
Smith.
Man, that's
how
tough.
did that go in? That looked like it was Will and Indiana's Gatorade Player of the Year a season ago.
So Lawyer Smith,
standing.
What are you trying to say here? You're being very cryptic with. The fact of the matter is they know how to identify talent that works for them. Matt Painter knows what he wants. He knows who he is. He knows what Purdue's all about. And he gets guys that fits that. It's the you need you approach. And that's the stuff that friggin' works in college basketball.
There you go.
I will take a stance on this and say you could pay whoever you want. And I'd still beat you with these dudes. And I think at some point we're going to learn that. It might be 5 years, 10 years down the road after we waste all this money. But the reality is, good teams win in college basketball. Look, I don't know. You never know how many more opportunities you're going to have to say this. So you got to say it. And I think there are programs out there that we should be focusing more on because of the way they do things. They are true to themselves. This group, year in, year out, under Matt Painter, and this is not a public service announcement for Purdue because there are a lot of teams out there that do this, are such a reflection of their community. And I think that's what makes Purdue basketball great.
There's a 3 for Gillis, and Purdue. He'll retire at the end of the season after a wonderful career at Notre Dame.
One of the best guys, one of the best coaches. And these are the people we'll miss the most. Why? Because they're some of the best people. The game needs good people. The game needs leaders. This world needs leaders. And Mike Bray was a great leader for a long time. Jay Wright, great leader for a long time. Mike Krzyzewski, great leader for a long time. There's some big shoes to fill.
Payne inside, good find from Garcia.
And not how he dresses, or he's not the George Clooney GQ coach, but in terms of the stability and the culture of his program, knowing what you're going to get year in, year out, recruiting to that stability, that chemistry, that culture we talk about, the identity of the program, I think he's more like Jay Wright than anybody else.
Well, and Jay Wright waited a long time before the national championship break.
Like, tennis is funny, too, because it's one of those things where it's like, well, who are the Americans? It's almost like tennis is like the Olympics. We root for the Americans, or Federer, or whoever.
Kentucky, beginning at noon Eastern, 11 Central.
They better open up the window in that 2 p.m. game, because I had a Texas A&M Memphis game that lasted 3 hours.
They're getting better. They've won 7 straight, A&M Buzz Williams crew, which was a notable snub for the tournament a year ago. Smith lines up a 3.
That screen just got pushed off a little bit. 10 pounds away from being able to turn a corner. You can just see it. He knows how to use his body and to be strong when he needs to, but it's just that next level. To be able to turn a corner, get his shoulder into somebody, use a body.
Cooper got around him and floated it home.
The way they're going to have to face so many different looks in the Big Ten, it's going to be good for them outside of the conference. It's going to be good for them in the NCAA tournament where they've seen so many different.
Ola Joseph on the feed.
And adjustments quicker on the floor.
Right now they're holding Minnesota to less than a point a minute. One of the best defensive efforts in Purdue's Big Ten history as Newman drains it from deep. 8 for Brandon Newman off the bench. After a slow start, Purdue's now 6 of 10 in the second half from 3, 7 of 16. Their three-point shooting the last few games has really ticked up.
Just not enough space offensively for Minnesota. There's just no room.
63. That was about as high level of intensity and late game
head coaches who in hindsight would have done this, that, or the other thing, and that would have solved the problem. But the game plan.
This is a major blowout for Purdue. Leads by 28 as Kaufman-Wren fights for more. Minnesota has the walk-on, beg your pardon, Will Ramberg in the game right now. Ola Joseph stuffs it in. 1985. 35 tonight. They're still outstanding, and they're going to allow, it looks like, less than a point a minute. It's a Minnesota team that obviously has a lot of growing to do. There's some young talent right there. 1985. 35 tonight. They're still outstanding, and they're going to allow, it looks like, less than a point a minute. It's a Minnesota team that obviously has a lot of growing to do. There's some young talent right there.
Payne and Ola Joseph have really fought. Let's not take anything away from them. They have fought really hard against Zach Edey. They just ran into a mountain.
As usual, thanks for watching, and please provide your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it helps the channel out.